Good morning. If I look like I just woke up, it's probably because that's not far from the truth. We stayed up till midnight. I'm not sure I made it to midnight. I may have... Oh, no, I did, because I flipped over and realized that I'd forgotten to watch the ball drop, because, that happens at 11. And then I don't know what we were doing, and I don't know that I made it to midnight here in my time zone. It was after midnight when I know I got up and went to bed. And I set the alarm for 8 so that I could get up and do this. And what I do on New Year's Day is I watch the Rose Parade. And fortunately, my partner took the day off, so we get to watch the Rose Parade together. And that doesn't happen very often, so I'm kind of excited about that. But first, and I think it's funny that we're going to start the year with Emma Curtis Hopkins. I'm kind of excited about that. Because, I started in April, so we're still in Courage, Conviction, and Consciousness, and it is January 1st of 2024. And our title is There is Good for Me and I Ought to Have It. And when you hear that title, our author is Emma Curtis Hopkins. It's from How to Attain Your Good from 1898. And her information never goes out of date. It's good stuff. All right. There is good for me and I ought to have it. You are sure of this. It is the foundation statement of your being. One may not admit that there is any God or great being to whom they owe allegiance, but they are always sure that there is good for them, which they ought to have. The good that we feel that we ought to have is our God. Every move we make, we are making to get our God, to satisfy our idea of the good. This is one service of our God. Hence, in all languages, God is called good. Good is God. We seek the good. We long for the good. We expect the good. Good is God. There is no other God but good. If everything and everybody is filled with the good, then there is no place or space that this God is not. We can speak of the good as omnipresent, and that which is not good is nowhere present. God is omnipresent good. Good has no other power to oppose it. It is omnipotent. God is omnipotent. Good is omnipotent. Good has no other intelligence but itself. God is omniscient good. This is striking the mind straight on to a foundation stone within itself. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that Emma Curtis Hopkins practices what Jesse called hardball metaphysics. It'd be interesting to know what she was like in her regular life. She was pretty elderly by the time Ernest met her. And anytime I read her, I can always envision her as this tiny little woman who walks straight up to you and puts her finger in your chest and just tells you like it is. And as I understand, she was a tiny little woman and she brooked no argument. You could sit in front of her and tell her your entire, and I'm going to use the word sob story, and in the back of her mind, she would be saying, you are not that, you are not that, you are not that. She just didn't buy it. She didn't buy it. And she was just amazing in that way. She was taught by Mary Baker Eddy, but then I think she went beyond Mary Baker Eddy, and of course Mary Baker Eddy didn't appreciate that. So she kicked her to the curb, and Emma said fine, and moved, a couple of 100 miles away, put up a shingle to teach Christian Science, because, this was back in the 1800s when they didn't have the internet, and Mary Baker Eddy would never know. She put up that Christian Science shingle and started teaching it. And she just believed with the force of 1,000 suns, and that's why she's the teacher of teachers, because she taught Ernest Holmes of Science of Mind. She taught Mildred and Charles Fillmore of Unity. She taught so many other, students of New Thought, and they all walked away with this idea of, you know what? We live our life most of the time in the material world. And the material world is messy, and that's okay. It is okay that it's messy. I mean, we have a responsibility to do the good that we can. But what Emma says here, and what she taught her students, was when you go into prayer, when you go into treatment, when you go into that space of the source of your own being, you are going to a place where nothing has ever been wrong. And while you are in that space, you act like nothing has ever been wrong. You state your, whatever it is that you're there to do, as if with full faith, believing that it is true, because in that space, it's true. And it's in that space where you get the energy to bring back to the messy material world to do it, You can't go to stand in front of God and hem and haw. You gotta go stand in front of God and speak your truth. Because that's all God's gonna hear. All God's gonna hear is your truth. So you go there and you do that, and you bring back that truth to this world, and it starts that chain reaction to bring you what you want. And I've never heard this particular phrase. It caught my attention today. I'm sure I've heard it before, but we're cooking. Ignore the fire alarm. The fire alarm does not appreciate our stove. All right. Where was it? It was such an interesting line. The good that we feel we ought to have is our God. Every move we make, we are making to get our God to satisfy our idea of the good. This is one service of our God. Okay, so there it is. This is one service of our God. The good that we feel that we ought to have is our God. Basically, it's the way I've heard it described is it's God tapping us on the shoulder. So what the good that you want is God tapping you on your shoulder, going, this is the way life could be. Is this what you want? And what are you willing to do to get it? The good that you seek, because we're programmed, like what we are, the center of our being is love. And so when we seek love, we are seeking God. Not in so many words, but we are seeking a connection to the source of our own being. So it is one service that God provides. So when you are seeking your good, you are seeking a deeper connection with the source of your own being. Whether you acknowledge that there is a God at all. And that's why New Thought is like, we're totally fine. It's like, you don't have to believe in God. Absolutely, you don't have to believe in God. New Thought's fine with that. It's like, because we understand that God is working in your life. Because God isn't a personality. God is that spark, that divine idea, that patterning intelligence, that cycle of nature, And so one of the services that God provides is God says there's good for you and you ought to have it. And it sparks in us the desire to go get it. Not to look for it, but to go get it. Because if we go get it, if we go for it, we're going to find it. It may not look like we expect. And that's part of the fun. I say that with quotes. That's part of the fun. When we put expectations on our good, that's when the Buddhists say we open ourselves up to suffering, because it may not look like we expect it to. But I like the idea of it's one of the services. The desire for our good is one of the services that God provides. It's that driving force in us, that spark of life that says, you know what? There's more to this life than you're seeing. Go out and explore. Go and explore this life. Go and do things. Which is why when I talk about practicing love, kindness, and compassion, one of the things that I say is say yes to something that pushes you a little out of your comfort zone. Because that is truly God tapping you on your shoulder. We've all been tapped on the shoulder. We've also all been hit by the spiritual 2x4 because we ignored the tap. You know, God can get a little pushy sometimes. And that's okay. Life can get a little pushy sometimes. If we're not chasing our good, then God might have something to say about that. But it's not a personality judging you. It's simply life saying, there's more. There's more. Come and see. There's more. So, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, on the first day of 2024, is to recognize that there is more. And we get to go look for it. And we'll find it. And it will look amazing and awe-inspiring and nothing like we expect. And maybe a little like we expect. But if we are open to the wonder, then our good will surely amaze us. So that's the mission today, should we choose to accept it. I do adore Emma Curtis Hopkins, and I'm glad we get to start the year with her. So, the other mission I give you, which is the same mission every day, which is what I like to remind you is the spiritual practice of self-care, okay? If you're going to go look for your good, you got to take care of yourself, right? So it is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like, big, small, doesn't matter. The point is to practice on yourself. You are your own best test subject. But more importantly than that, you deserve your own love, you deserve your own kindness, you deserve your own compassion. So what does that look like? To take a deep breath before you speak. Give yourself a moment to respond instead of react. That is the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing that you can do for yourself and for others. For yourself, because, you know, you'll never speak to anybody more than you speak to yourself. Honestly, one of the things that drove me into therapy is one day I listened to the way I was talking to myself, and I was like, this is not okay. So I went and looked for my good and found it. But when you give yourself a moment to respond instead of react, then you don't have to walk back things you regret saying. I also, one of the other easy suggestions, take a walk, take a nap, take a break, which is the human equivalent of turning yourself off, turning yourself back on. If you're working on something and you're not getting anywhere, go take a walk. Take a breather. Go and move your body, and something will come to you when you are walking. It doesn't have to be a walk, but you know what I mean? Bike ride, things like that. Just a brief minute of exercise. It's also walking away from the project, which is like taking a break. Go do something else. Give your mind a chance to rest. And then whatever it is that you're looking for will naturally rise to the surface. Because in that time when you take a break, you may go have a conversation with somebody and they may give you the peace you need. Or take a nap. I'm a big believer in naps. I don't get enough sleep. That's my own fault. So like if I can take a nap, I will take a nap. Like I had 3 days off for Christmas. I took a nap every day. I have 3 days off for New Year's. I've taken a nap. The other 2 days, I intend to take at least a brief nap today. It's like whatever you want to do in 2024, do today. Well, nap is one of them. So, and like I said, say yes to something that pushes you a little out of your comfort zone. That's another idea of self-care. Say no to something that is just draining. Start the year off with the remembrance that no is a complete sentence. Okay? Yes, it's a good idea to say yes as often as you can, but also you have the right to say no, and that it's a complete sentence. So remember that. Use the no as often as you need in 2024. All right. Couple other things I don't want to forget. To eat dessert first. You know me. I believe that chocolate is the first step to fixing anything. But what I mean by that is don't save the good stuff. Too often we save up things waiting for a special occasion, and by the time we get around using them, the people we want to share them with aren't with us any longer. All right? Don't save the good stuff. Don't wait for a special occasion. Go ahead and make the occasion special. And then the other part is, I know that the world is crazy. If you watch the news, the world is just nuts, which is part of the reason why I don't watch the news very often. But joy is a quality of God. Therefore, joy is a quality of you. So I want to remind you to make room for joy. No matter what is going on in the world, no matter what is going on in your life, you still deserve joy. So please make room for joy, whatever it takes. Make room for joy. It can be simple and easy, or it can be big and enormous. Just make room for it every day. It's akin to hope, and we all need that. All right. The rest of the suggestions are the same suggestions. I'm not going to change them. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is very important. You know how I feel about hydration. I hadn't finished my power pack this morning, so that's why the water's cloudy. And then I'll get my trace mineral water after that. Hydration, your body works better, your skin looks better, and your brain works better when you are well hydrated. So drink plenty of water. You can have things in it like that's got vitamin C in it. And the other one that I like to drink has lemon and stevia in it, along with the trace minerals. Get that early in your day, bright light. I know that the first part of this year might be kind of cloudy, so, sunlight may not be it. We may lean on the artificial light, and that's okay. But 5 to 10 minutes of bright light early in your day will help to reset your circadian rhythms. If the light in your house is not bright enough, then you can Google seasonal effect disorder or sun lamps. And that will get you the right wavelength and the right intensity. 5 to 10 minutes, face and forearms, support your vitamin D levels. And I can tell you all the things that vitamin D does. It supports bone health, immune health, mood health, and bone, mood, immune, thyroid. Vitamin D is very important. So make sure you're getting some of that. All right. And then the last one, I'm going to keep my Ernest Holmes quote because I love it. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. What does that mean? Heaven is not a place. Okay? Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of God is within you. What does that mean? It means it's a mindset. Okay? It's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. Once you learn to create that state of mind, that state of consciousness, heaven can become any place you are. I mean, that is a secret of the ages, right? Once we learn to create that heavenly mindset, heaven can be anywhere we are. Wouldn't you love to create heaven in your own home? Wouldn't you love for people to walk into your house and feel safe? That's what it is. When you open the windows of your soul, it means opening yourself up to the possibilities. The possibilities of your good that Emma talked about. Responding to the taps on your shoulder so you don't get the spiritual 2x4s. It's possible, and I can smell breakfast, so I need to wrap this up. All right. And you can take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. You want to find that heavenly mindset. That is the best way to do it. Look for the good and praise it, which is just another way of saying counting your blessings. And I like to look for the little goods because the little goods add up to the big goods. So start there. Start there. All right. Just a little bit of housekeeping before I move on. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. So I commend them to you. We try and post light, bright, funny, enlightening, and helpful stuff on all of them. The YouTube channels, both of them, have hours of content on whatever subject you could possibly want. So please take a look at that. And I don't know what I was about to say. So I guess, I'm going to do the email. Email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact. That way you will know what's going on even when, we don't know. It's one email a week, and the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll take you right to the information you want, i.e. the YouTube Soul Session playlist. And then you can like and subscribe from there, or subscribe and please like the videos. It helps with the algorithms. The more likes we can get, then more people will see the amazing content that we have, right? Or to the person that can help you get it. Home office is trying to offer classes, 3 or 4 classes quarterly. So if you're itching for a New Thought class, check out what home office is offering. You get to take classes with people around the country and, to a degree, around the world. And that's a lot of fun. Hi, Gabby. Gabby has something to say, apparently. So I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have it is the first day of the year, why not? A great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day. A look for the good day. A recognize who you are day. A make room for joy day. A set up your new year day. A spend time with loved ones day, virtually or in person. A cuddle your fur babies day. A good day. And if that's too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You're a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. You teach people of the God of your understanding. Remember that. So, you are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right, beloveds. Let's set this year on its head and go for our good. Okay? So I'm going to remind you that Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. today. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.